Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who knew someone who became a murderer. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Not murder, but manslaughter. He was popular, cocky, well-off, entitled, but really no different from most of the preppy rich kids. I was not cool nor popular, but I got to know a different side of him as his tutor. Despite his popularity and stunningly good looks, dude could have easily been a model. He was dyslexic and would stutter if he got nervous. He wasn't dumb, but he struggled to learn and covered his insecurity with bravado. Anyway, about a month after his 21st birthday, he got into a bar fight. From all accounts, both he and the victim were equally drunk, equally belligerent, and fighting over the typical stupid shit young drunk men fight over. He caught the other guy with one of those 1 in a million punches that killed him. Despite having considerate family wealth, he didn't fight it, took responsibility, and pled guilty without a plea deal. He got 7 fixed with 13 indeterminate, got paroled at 10. No, the victim's family asked parole to be denied at 7-year hearing, had no objection to release at 10. We stayed in touch, and I can say this guy took what he did very seriously, spent his time working on his education and bettering himself, and is now out, staying sober, working, and engaged. Wow. That's actually sad. I do like how he realized he actually effed up big time, and he was down to try to redeem himself. Instead of fighting it and being like it was an accident, he actually just pled guilty. And that's not what many people would do. Many people would just be like, it's an accident, I didn't mean it. But he was just like, yeah, that was me. That's so sad for the both of them. It's always little things like this where it could really cost your life. Like imagine just going drinking one night and then you get into a fight with another guy. And then one person dies and then you go to jail. Not worth it, is it? Not worth it. She was my childhood bully and I always thought she was a psychopath. She ended up convincing her boyfriend, affair partner, to kill her husband, father of her children, while he was on leave. Convicted of conspiracy to commit murder. What? Damn! Your own wife trying to murder you, trying to assassinate you. There was a true crime documentary about this as well, I think, where the wife tried to assassinate her own husband, but the guy that she hired was actually an undercover cop. So they faked the husband's death and then they filmed her reaction as she was like fake crying and blah 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 blah. Don't trust nobody. Guy named Chris always acted like a tough guy. Wasn't fun to be around at all. Just a dickhead at all times. In a bar, he lost a game of pool, ran his mouth to a bunch of guys bigger than him, got the shit beat out of him, came back and shut up the place, killing a couple people, doing life and probably still a dickhead. You know, I don't get some people. Just let it go. Seriously, just let it go. Why do you need to come back? If someone beat you up, just let it go. Because why would you want to get beaten up and spend life in jail? Might as well just get beat up and go to sleep, okay? Kinda strange dude, but very quiet and soft-spoken, good at pencil drawing. About 5 years after high school, he took a kitchen knife in each hand and stabbed his uncle to death. Drove to his girlfriend's house, took his shit in her front yard, forced her into the car and drove her to another state. Let her go and turned around and drove back. Asked to use the phone at a gas station and was told no until the cashier looked up and realized he was absolutely covered in blood. Called the cops and surrendered. Never saw that one coming. It's always the quiet people. This is why you don't piss off the quiet kids. Okay? Seriously. Just don't do it. It's always the quiet ones that are violent because you never know what they're thinking, okay? The loud ones who are like, I'm gonna stab you. Yeah, they don't do it. But the ones who will stab you are the ones thinking it, not saying it. Attempted murder. She always had an excuse for why she did bad things. Cheated on the tests. She didn't have time to study. Stole money from work. My bills were due. Hit her husband. He was too feminine. Went into so much debt that they lost their home. She deserved nice things. Hired a hitman. Her husband wouldn't give her money for meth. This girl crazy. Definitely a red flag. If they have an excuse for everything and don't admit their wrongdoings, yeah, just go. I went to a magnet school in South Florida that was in a pretty bad neighborhood. The first year we were segregated to our own floor and escorted everywhere. The second year we weren't as supervised but still had security around. The third year we were released to the hounds. I, a tiny white kid, befriended a gigantic black student by making him a few things in woodshop class. He looked out for me and often stood in for me in a fight. I got jumped in the bathroom one day, and while walking back to class bloody and crying, he saw me walk past his class. He came out and asked me what was up. I pointed to the 2 kids that jumped me, and he cornered them and got my money plus some back. Told them to never F with me again. The last day of school was an absolute war zone. We literally had SWAT across the street trying to keep the fights to a minimum. My buddy ran with me and other students to the bus to keep our scrawny little white asses from getting killed. Well, about 4 years later, I was watching the news and he popped up on a wanted segment. He was wanted for a murder of 3 people. The 3 people were gang members, but the way he did it caught the public eye. They rolled up on a busy intersection in Miami and he was across the street with some homies. He walked up to the car and executed the driver, then the passenger in the back. The front passenger got out but was hit by a car that was getting the hell out of there. He walked around and shot that guy a few times. He then walked back to the homies, handed them the gun and left. He was caught in Alabama later that year and was shot by the police when stepping out of the house. Whoa! That's sad. That's actually so sad. It's like watching your friend's life take an unexpected turn when you realize they could have been a great person. I mean, you know, it's like things like this. If you're friends with someone like this, you would always try to make excuses like something must have happened. Okay, like he had his reasons. Because that would be me. I'd be like, he had his reasons to killing those gang members. He had his reasons. You know, maybe he was looking out for his own family. Maybe he didn't want the gang members to kill his family. I don't know. But it's like when someone's treated you so well, you don't want to forget that. Yeah, that's sad. Maybe if only he hung out in a better crowd, he would have become a great person and life would still be on his side. But I think he just ran with the wrong crowd for sure. My best friend's sister, who had schizophrenia, went off her meds and killed her mother. The family was already reeling from having lost their father. He had developed lung cancer, and when they were doing a biopsy of his lung, the doctor slipped and punctured a vein or something, triggering a heart attack and a stroke. He never recovered from the stroke and died 10 days later. The mother was an invalid that he had been the primary caretaker with the help of the daughter. And while on her meds, she was able to help her mother as needed. But once the father died, there was no one checking if she was taking her meds, and she eventually slid off of them. She became obsessed with the thought that her mother was trying to cut her out of the wheel or something, and she took a knife to her one day. She tried to cover it up, claiming someone else came in and attacked her, but the evidence was too clear and her story was incoherent. It destroyed the whole family. My friend is still broken by the event years later. Within a couple of months, he went from having both his parents and a loving sister to everyone being effectively gone. Man, F mental illnesses. That's so sad. It's crazy what an illness can actually do to your brain. I feel sad for the brother. He literally lost everyone. The smartest person in our high school was in an abusive home, and to my understanding, they had a bad trip and killed an abusive parent. They got out later and seemed to be a really good force advocating for the criminal justice system reforms and other good things. Honestly, I didn't care if an abusive parent gets killed. Deserved it. Seriously. Like, if you don't want that happening to you, then don't abuse your kids. Because one day, they're gonna grow up and they're going to be stronger than you. So the only reason the parents died is because the kid wanted to get out of it. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!